First and foremost is that you need to be like the newsmaker that the media wants to work with. Because I think a lot of times people don't get it. When we first started, I work with media agencies, like PR agencies as well, right? And sometimes my PR agency would tell me like, okay, Violet, we cannot do so much stories. You cannot keep getting in the media. You get overexposed.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I've learned is that there's nothing called overexposed. It's only like whether you have what they want from you. Yeah, because as a company or as a founder, there's so many different parts to you. Like for example, Eric, you are not just like an educator. You are an entrepreneur. You understand like maybe a certain market very well. Like for example, interest. There's just so many ways.
Facets of us.
Exactly. So it's really about giving like them what they need.
Very nice. So would you say that means because you were featured 4,500 articles, right, and stories, but you're telling me that it's about, first of all, paying attention to that media company, like what kind of news and stories are they most interested in, and then you pitch along the line of what they're interested in.
Yes. I think a few things. Like first and foremost is that you need to be like the newsmaker that the media wants to work with. Because I think a lot of times people don't get it. Because I mean, same with me, honestly, the first time I get on like newspaper or I get on TV, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like huge, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like my childhood dream.
Exactly.
Right? And I think eventually I realized that it's really not about that. It's about why they actually ask you to go on TV, or why they ask you to go on radio, or why they are writing a piece about you. Yes. And I think sometimes people just get so excited and then they over promote themselves. And that's something that like the media hates. Because imagine you are like the DJ, and then you only have like 10 minutes, and then you invite this guy to come on the show.
Correct.
And I remember this very clearly because I went on a radio show, and then there were like two interviewees, me and this other guy, right? And then it's like the other guy, and sometimes like the PR agency also give this kind of advice. They will be like, oh, every time you get a chance to say your company name, every time you get a chance to like pitch something that you are selling, right? Because like they see it as very, I feel, short term.
Correct.
Because they think that, oh, this is like the one and only show that I'm ever going to be on, right?
Yes.
But imagine you're the DJ, you'll be so irritated.
Because the DJ is trying to create a piece of news.
Yes, the DJ is trying to create value for the listeners.
So you said this, right? That we need to be a newsmaker, right? How do we do it? Or give us some example of how can we, as an entrepreneur, as a personality, start to become a newsmaker?
I would say like look at what they want to write about, because I mean obviously let's say you're in insurance, so you want to look at the trends, you want to look at like what are the stories that are coming out, and then from there you want to like give feedback to what your opinion is, or then you can pitch to them, right? And then you'll be like, oh, that's quite interesting, I never see it from this angle. Like for example, again, I am not familiar with insurance.
No, in your world. In your world.
How do you, in my world.
How do you, I want to know your thought process of how you create news.
How we go about it is like when we go into any market, like that's the announcement. So that's a very easy thing, because first, we are the first matchmaking modern dating agency in Singapore, for example. We went to Malaysia, we are the first in Malaysia. We went to Hong Kong, we're the first in Hong Kong,
or you're the first to do a live dating thing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so being first,
for sure,
news.
like create news, for sure. Next is trends. So like media loves trends. And I think for our industry, it's, I guess, because it's like people like to write about it, like I'm not insurance, I'm not like property. They
it's
don't
like dating, love, matchmaking.
Yes, so like we do a lot of surveys. We are constantly doing surveys. So for example, the most recent survey we did is like, what do singles think about vaccinations?
Yes, because the hot topic right now is on vaccination.
Exactly.
But your market is the singles.
Yes.
So you combine these two things together.
Yes. And so with that, we got covered.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's definitely trends. And then you talk about. Okay, let me think.
Stories. You mentioned stories.
Yes, we do a lot of stories. So I think, as a person, like you are not just like for me, I'm not just a matchmaker. I'm a mother, like I'm a wife. So I do get covered in like all these different things as well. Like so mother magazines, they do cover me. Correct. So or entrepreneur magazines, they want to hear like your backstory. And different angles. So another thing that got us very far in Hong Kong was actually we did what we call a celebrity dream date.
Oh.
Yeah, so because we know, again, you need to understand the market and you need to understand the location. So Hong Kong is very, very big on celebrities. Yeah, so when we first started there, we were like, okay, how are we going to make noise? So we thought, okay, why not, we get a celebrity to experience what lunch dating is all about, and then, see how it goes from there.
Correct.
And so again, very blessed. like, of course, it will be a bonus if she really end up with who we match her up with,
Yes,
right?
of course.
But she really did.
Oh my god, and they added that credibility
Yes.
for you.
So she got married, they have kids. So we are always known as like the company who match, like this lady. So I mean, this celebrity is called Ella Kun.
Ella Kun.
Yeah, so
okay.
she's like a singer, she did some acting as well.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let me summarize that. So I pick up 4 things on how to capture the attention of the media.
Yeah.
So the first one is being first. If you are
Yes.
the first in doing something,
Yep.
the media wants to feature that.
Yep.
Number 2 is trends.
Yep.
What are some hot topics that people are talking about? Offer your point of view,
Yes.
or do some data analysis and
Yes.
share that data
Yep.
with them.
Yep.
Number 3 is stories.
Yes.
Are there any highlights in your life, or are there any interesting backstories that's
Yes.
inspiring,
Yes.
funny, or touching?
Yes.
And then you share those stories.
Yes.
And the last one is pay attention to what that market, whether it's country or media, love to cover.
Yes.
So if it's more of a celebrity magazine, therefore
Yes.
they want to feature celebrities.
Yes.
Combine that with your area of expertise.
Yes.
You might end up getting something new.
Yes. And don't be afraid to experiment. So another thing that we did was like, when Pokemon Go came out.
Yes.
And then I went crazy. I was like hunting Pokemon like with my kids, right?
Correct.
And then like my poor husband is like driving us everywhere. And that particular weekend I was like, wow, this would make a really good story. And that weekend itself, like, I activated my team. Like, so Strengths Finder, another of my strength is Activator.
Activator.
Yeah. And then we created Dating Go. And we
Okay.
did it across all the countries we are in, and we got picked up by the news.
How does it work? Dating Go.
Oh, Dating Go is basically we just get singles together, and then we put out Leos, and then they just go around hunting Pokemons together lah, and then they get to know each other.
It's still using the Pokemon app, but you
Yes.
contextualize it as a dating experience.
Yes. And that was crazy because first time ever, right? Because usually people do not like to tag their friends on our social media
Yeah.
posts because it's like so shy, right?
Correct.
That's the first time ever everybody was tagging their friends. They're like, hey, you like Pokemon Go, right? Go and join this event lah.
Oh my god. See, so again, it's looking at what's popular
Yeah.
and then match it with you. But the mindset we need to be is we need
Yep.
to be experimental.
Yes,
Because the
yes,
minute
for
we're
sure.
experimental, we start to do things that's different or
Yes.
new and unique.
Yes.
And that's what
Yep.
creates news.
Yes.
Now we all know how she ended up on 4,500 newspaper articles.